nights at 9 o'clock p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City Arcs members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. And by the way, tonight's Slow Scan TV net is going to be streamed on YouTube, and it will be recorded as well. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I will recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec.
November 6, Quebec, November, Juliet.
All right, well, that's fine. Bob, I got you, N6PGQ. Thanks for checking in. And then James doubled with Bob, N6QNJ. Fortunately, I recognize James and the call sign, so even though it was clipped, I've got you checked in. Thanks, James. Any other check-ins?
Yeah, this is Kilo Pop for Mike Delta Carroll, Citrus Heights.
How about Carol? Are you checking in, KP4MD?
Yes, yes, this is KP4MD, Carroll, Citrus Heights.
All right, Carol. And I guess I'll check myself in N6EMF. Any other check-ins?
Alpha India 6 Delta Golf, Joel in Florence.
All right, well, thanks for checking in, Joel. It sounds like Carol won't be at the bottom of the list this time. Got you AI6DG. Thank you. All right, I don't have YouTube up and running, but I will acknowledge any YouTube viewers online as soon as I get them up and running, or if we have acknowledgement elsewhere. But I want to recognize Neil. If you're out there, we're going to be listening for you or looking for you. I understand you're operating Mobile Marine off the coast of Hawaii. So nice job getting in on Echolink on the 2-meter net tonight. Okay, well, let's see, Bob, if you're ready to transmit your photo, why don't you go right ahead?
Okay, this should be PD-120.
control. This is N6NA here. I was able to copy a wonderful photo from Bob, N6PGQ. I recognize a photograph, a different perspective of the racetrack stadium that we saw maybe last week with maybe a fireworks show in the air. So this is going to be interesting to hear about. Well, thank you, Bob, for sending that, and I'm going to turn it over to James and Jay. How copy?
Yeah, definitely a different perspective from the photo from last week. The sky, the fireworks, the color looks great. The photo's a little out of focus, and I don't know if that's native to the photo or just the way it came through. Very little pixelation. Maybe that has to do with the light blue sky, but it looks like there's some excitement that is conveyed by the photo. KN6QNJ.
All right, awesome work, James. Yeah, and I noticed things as I listen to others describe what they see, things that I don't notice right offhand, so good stuff. Carol, KP4MD, any comments?
Yeah, this is KP4MD. Picture is pretty clear here, and you know the problem with the lack of sharpness is due to the low resolution. There's no question about that. But it's yep, the Los Angeles Coliseum. I don't know if those fireworks because it's daytime. Some kind of streamers going up there putting out smoke, and looks like there might even be a drone above that flag on the right side there. Something is flying up there in the among the smoke. And Neil says, hi guys, monitoring aboard the Ruby Princess just off of Kauai Island, Hawaii. And we have Frank, W6NYX, who's with us also on YouTube chat. And he's asking, is there any video yet? Yes, we're supposed to be streaming. I don't know if somebody is not getting it. Is there a picture coming out on? Is there a picture coming out on YouTube? Oh yeah, it must be, because Neil said there's the LA Coliseum event. Just said that. Okay, so Frank is having trouble getting the images here. So back to net. This is KP4MD.
Very good, Carol. Thank you. Yes, to confirm, from my seat, I can see the YouTube is streaming just fine. It is live, and I can see the chat window as well. So nice work. Thanks for keeping the YouTube feed live. That was KP4MD. All right. Well, how about Joel, AI6DG? How copy?
Excellent reception. I don't really. I see just a handful of pop noise pops on it. I first thought that they were balloons, but I think they actually are part of the fireworks. And I think that's like a big cargo plane flying just above the flag over on the extreme right. I don't think that's a drone. Awfully big drone, if it is. And wow, lots of people there. So it must have been a big event. So what was this, the opening ceremony, closing ceremony, or halftime show? Well, I guess they don't have halftime. There's no halftime. It's a race. So they do things between train races, I guess. So obviously lots of people having fun and a beautiful day. Back to net, AI6DG.
Yes, indeed. It looks like some type of large aircraft, the upper right. Let's see. Well, I'll bet you Bob won't have much to say about it, but we'll have to see. Okay, Bob, we're turning it right back up to you in N6PGQ. How about it? Tell us all about the photo. Thank you.
Okay, well, this is before the race at the Coliseum started. While they're playing the national anthem and get to the line, bombs bursting in air, and off went the fireworks, and over went a big cargo plane, Air Force, I believe. They didn't tell us who it was from. At least I didn't pay attention. But anyway, it was at the LA Coliseum for the NASCAR race. and you guys got it pretty well, N6PGQ.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing. It's nice to see that from a different perspective. I think last time I could only see a section of that building. I guess that's the entrance in the background there. So nice work, nice photo, capturing good memories, and a little bit of technical discussion there. My photo came out a little bit clearer than what I can see on the YouTube, and I see a parallel bar of noise, the top 1/3 of KP4MD's photo online. I didn't have that, but it'd be interesting to see if there's a perspective on that. I'll look out for that next time. All right, next photo will be, I'll go ahead and send the next photo, N6EMF Net Control. But before I do, let me double check and see if there's any additional points to discuss on N6PGQ's photo. All right, again, nice work, Bob, and thank you. Here comes PD120 and 6EMF. N6EMF Net Control has transmitted this photo, and I'll just run through the list and check and see how I'll copy. How about Bob, N6PGQ?
Well, it looks like we have a couple of operators there, N6RH and N6EMF operating. EMF looks like he's got an Elecraft KX3 or something like that on a desk, and I can't see what N6RH has, but this may be out at Winter Field Day or something like that. Nice setup, looks like good weather, and everybody's having a good time. N6PGQ.
All right, very good, Bob. Thank you. Well, N6QNJ. James, how copy?
The photo came through really well. I see the chain link fence behind them, so they must have been near a boundary. It looks like the two gentlemen are having a good time. I hope they don't believe that nobody can see them out there. I assume they know that everybody can see them. but and I can't tell N6RH's radio rig looks like a box, a kit in a box, and as you said, the other one might be some sort of portable allograft. But the picture came through well. I don't even see any pops in it. A KN6QNJ.
All right, well, very good, James. Thank you for that. And Carol, KP4MD, how copy?
Yeah, this is KP4MD. First of all, I want to say that we have an absolute crowd on YouTube tonight. We have Craig, WP2N from Louisiana has joined us, and Greg is there as well, KK6WSP, and Frank, of course, W6NYX. So it's just hopping on YouTube chat. And wow. Yeah, I don't think this was the winter field day, because the winter field day you had canopies up, and there's no canopies here. I'm trying to remember what was the other time that you guys went out and did some operating in a park there. And oh yeah, Anders' call is November Romeo 6H. I know it's kind of weird. It's a 2x1. It's not a very common thing, but yeah, that's. I'm sure if he would be a little bit corrective about that. It's November Romeo 6 Hotel. So back to Nets, KP4MD.
I'm going to have to give, thank you for that, Carol. I'm going to have to give Anders, fortunately he's not here tonight. He probably won't catch this. November Romeo 6, Romeo Hotel, and I am guilty as charged. Thank you, though. Thank you for the feedback. I'll go back and scrub down the YouTube video recording. Maybe I can fix maybe I can go in and edit it. How's that? That way I won't get caught. All right, well, thanks for Carol, and let's see, where were we? AI6DG, Joel, how copy?
You know, this first came across when there was only the top quarter or so. I thought it was all messed up, but it's the fence. I mean, the fence just looked really weird until you realize it's a fence. So we've got Anders on the left and Wilson on the right, and this is a couple of weeks before Winter Field Day. I know they were talking about, and I've heard them talking about, maybe even some pictures at some of the previous float scan nets about them going up to a park up out of Folsom and testing things out. And yeah, it does look like it was a beautiful day, but I think, and that's, I'm pretty sure it's the KX2 on the right. It's too small to be a KX3. But talk about a minimal setup there on the right. Wow, it's a small table, but I guess you just need a place to put things, and you don't need a big table and a pop-up necessarily. I don't know. It depends on what you're doing, how long you're doing it, and how comfortable you want to be. I imagine the sun was a little bright out there. You know, another sign of it being a good day. But that's I don't know what antenna Wilson was using, but it looks like Anders on the left was using the same end-fed slant or sloper that he was using at Winter Field Day. We just see the antenna tuner in the background attached to the fence, and then a wire going off at an angle somewhere. But good practice for field setup and operation, and I wonder how many good things they learned. Back to net, AI6DG.
All right, well, thanks for that, Joel. Basically, this was a result of an invitation I got from Anders. He sent out an email invitation, hey, let's get together out here in preparation for field day, right? So that was early January. And this was a day when you were supposed to, I guess you were going to be out there too as well, Joel, but you didn't make it. But Anders and I met up in Folsom at a place called the Lou Howard Park. It has a relatively high elevation. It's a high point in the area. And we were basically at the top of the hill, but you can't tell based on the perspective in this picture here. And I wish Anders was here because he could tell you what's inside of his box. But right to the right, to the upper part of the photo in the middle, on the right, you'll see a black, on the right side of that fence post, you'll see a black box. That was Anders' auto tuner for the infed that Joel just talked about, and that's connected to the enclosure that he had on top of his box. But that enclosure that he has on his table is an enclosure with all kinds of buzzers and whistles in it. It has a power supply, a 19-inch portable rack. It's almost like a salesman's rack in a pouch that is like a travel bag, but he's got his Yaesu FT991A all-band mobile rig in there. Pretty nifty rig, but anyway, my setup on the right there is just like you said. It's an Elecraft KX2, and it has a BNC connector on the edge of the chassis with a banana plug adapter, and I've got two wires coming out of there, strung out, basically 25 feet each approximately, and basically one 25-foot counterpoise stretched across the ground, and the other one is attached to basically a broomstick on a tripod about a few feet away. Anyway, that's us just hanging out on one Sunday morning. I think it was like January 16th, and the intent of that was to get ready for the field day, the winter field day that was coming up. And I think all we did mostly was just talk. We talked about everything under the sun. We had a great time. Did a little bit of operating on 20 meters, and I think there was a VHF radio contest that Anders was operating, but I was not, because all I had was an HF mobile. So that's it.
Question?
Any questions, comments?
Yeah, I got a question, KP Fremdy.
Carol?
Okay, yeah, my question is, when both of you were on HF, was there any interference between both of your rigs?
That's a very good question. We didn't have any problem. Well, you know, it's interesting because no, the answer is no. We didn't have any interference at all that I know about. But Anders was getting set up, and I guess it was one of his first times using the FT991. And at first he had some things to work out. So we were just proving out, sideband tests and stuff like that, making sure he was on the right side of the sideband, and just miscellaneous things, kind of debugging the 991, so to speak. But so that was fun. Thanks for the question. Any others? If not, we can roll to the next photo. Well, all right. Let's see. James, N6QNJ.
I want to test the tone real quick.
You've got good tone. Thanks.
Okay, this is PD 120, KN6QNJ.
right, I can see the picture. Let's see, came in pretty good on YouTube, and I was able to pick up a nice photo from James, N6NA. I can't tell you what I can see, but it is quite colorful and somewhat cultural, if you will, and it looks like a storefront, maybe a two-story storefront maybe, and can't read the name of the store on the front, but I see sort of like a mural left and right, and some very elaborate kind of, I can't tell you what it is. Native American style maybe, murals and artwork, and let's see, I'll see if there's any other perspectives out there, but I sure appreciate an interesting and challenging photo, but it did come out pretty decent. And how about Carol, KP4MD?
Oh, okay. This is KP4MD. Wow, yeah. This it looks like a psychedelic type of Peter Max or something, pop art from the 70s, something you would see on an LSD trip. That's the first impression that it gave me when I saw this. Anyhow, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but I do recognize this place. This is QNJ had mentioned this place of business downtown, and I looked it up online, and that's why I recognize it now. But I'll pass. I'll give it back to Net Control. It's KP for MD.
All right, well, I appreciate that, Carol, because when I get by there, I won't miss it. I'm going back up the top of the list. Thank you, N6PGQ. Bob, how copy?
Well, the quality is really good. I agree with Carol and the people that it's a storefront. It looks like the entrance is inset somewhat with a mural on both sides of the entrance. You're looking at the sky through the top. Very amazing artwork. Kind of, I don't know, 70s psychedelic or something to that effect. Be interesting to see where this is, N6PGQ.
All right. Thank you, Bob. How about Joel, AI6DG?
So, as mentioned, a storefront. So it looks to me like we're looking at the front of a big office building somewhere. It looks like it's probably like a marble flat finish, but then we have this offset into the building. That's the entranceway into the building, and it's glass in the back, but it's probably, I don't know, 25, 30 feet across and 10 or 15 feet deep and probably, 25, 30 feet tall. So it's a huge space offset into the building, glass in the back with a door centered in it, and the whole inside of the surface, so the left, the right, and the top of this offset is the psychedelic painting, kind of like you would see on a poster for a Pink Floyd concert in the San Francisco Bay Area in the 70s or something like that. And it looks like there's some dining with tables and umbrellas on the pavement in front of all of this. So we're inside the offset. So, yeah, I'm curious, where is this? What is this? Back to Net, AI6DG.
Well, Joel, thank you. I think somebody knows the answer to the questions you've got. Let's see. Turn it back up to James, N6QNJ. How about it? N6NA.
Well, several of you are right. It is a psychedelic mural in an alcove at the location of what I think was the third, fourth, or fifth Tower record store in downtown Sacramento on the K Street Mall between 7th and 8th Street. So this is one block east of the Golden One Center, and this is a picture I took this past weekend of break. Before it was a Tower Records, it was a shoe store, And now it is a restaurant with great food because my wife is one of the partners. They have a large outdoor patio for dining, so that's why you see the umbrellas. And I think if you look to the lowest right corner, you can see a heater. So they've had to use both umbrellas and heaters during this time of the year. Upstairs, the all-glass area, that's where Russ Solomon used to have his office. Again, he was the founder of Tower Records, and the restaurant is called Solomon. Upstairs, they have live music, and they also convert it to a space for meetings. They have PowerPoint access, etc. Any other questions?
All right. So, is that really an upstairs, or what's happening? You said upstairs is more like a meeting room, and it's not part of the restaurant.
Well, they can cater up there, but it's an open space. It's also an art gallery. They're pre-COVID and now almost post-COVID. They're using the walls as an art gallery. They have a stage that they take up and down for live music. They even have an open mic night now on Thursday night. I will say, and of course I'm biased, that the food's amazing. But yeah, upstairs is just open space. They bring in stages or they set up tables depending on what it's being used for. I want to add also that mural was done in the early 70s, commissioned by Russ Solomon. It was peeling and almost gone when my wife and her partners took over, and they redid the mural with a local arts grant. The granddaughter of the original artist was involved, N6NA.
That's an amazing bit of history. Thanks for sharing, James. To take and refurbish, or rather restore, a work of art like that must have been quite a project. And it was nice that your folks were able to get a grant to get it done. I can't imagine it was. Anyway, nice work, and thanks for sharing all of that. And I hope to get down there one day and support your restaurant and get a taste of some of this delicious food that I keep hearing about.
If you go down, tell her, look for my wife, and I'm sure she'll take good care of you.
If I say the secret password is N6QNJ, will she know what I'm referring to?
She will, because she's so tired of hearing it.
All right, well, very good. I've been meaning to get down there and looking forward to it. In fact, the open mic is another thing that piques my interest. I'll see if I can check that out as well. So, does your wife operate that portion in the evenings?
Mostly, no, by then she's home, but they have a great staff. But I would highly recommend Friday, Saturday, Sunday brunch. Saturday, Sunday brunch is great.
Okay, thank you. Any other points, questions, comments for James before I drift to the next photo? Okay, well, let's see. KP4MD, if you're ready to go, let's fire off a photo. Oh my gosh, I could have a lot of fun trying to pronounce these things. And I'll tell you what, N6 here is net control. I was able to pick up a pretty nice photograph, a technical drawing of some combumbrator type of thing. All I can say is I can't put it together for sure. So I'm gonna turn it around for some fun. I'm gonna spin it around to Bob, N6PGQ. He's a mechanical guy. Let's see what he thinks. Go right ahead, Bob. Did you able to copy?
Yeah, the quality was really good. I just sent a YouTube, or not YouTube, a PayPal payment to the club for Phil's beam antenna that he's going to be building, and this must be one of his instructions for putting it together. Probably wants us to study it beforehand. It looks similar to the instructions I got with my Step IR, but this looks more like some of Phil's business. So I'll let someone else comment on it. N6PGQ.
That was two dyed-in-the-wool guys that are very hands-on and mechanically oriented, and they both pass on this photo. Can't figure it out. All right, that was fun. KP4MD, Carol, what are your comments? No, that was your photo. N6QNJ, James, how about you?
It came through really well. I love the names of the three main units. The trichotometric indicator support, it looks like the middle support is almost floating like an optical illusion. I'm interested in what this could be for, KN6QNJ.
Very good. I'm going to ask Carol if she has any Dramamine for Neil. If he's on a ship and looking at this photo, KL7HQR, you might need Dramamine. All right. AI6DG, Joel, I know you must have something. How copy?
Pretty good reception, although a fair number of pops, but they don't count. So this is kind of a joke drawing. I mean, a mathematical joke and diagram jokes. It's kind of like an Escher drawing with the stairs that always go up and down. So the little three-pronged thing on the right is impossible. The thing it bolts into is impossible, and it's just kind of like dizzying to look at, because as I look at it and try to trace the lines, it just doesn't work. It's like trying to put a four-dimensional or fifth-dimensional object into two-dimensional space on paper. It's a bit dizzying, but there's interesting jokes here. I mean, I'm not even sure I understand them all, but certainly the AMBA hex nut 3.1416 required, pi required. What kind of pi? Anyway, rectangular extrusion bracket. Let's see here, 10.16 centimeters, but then at the other end it's 0.0533 feet is the thickness of whatever that is. Anyway, having fun, just trying to figure it out. This looks like something you'd find out of A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Back to Net AI6DG.
Yeah, mixed units, feet and centimeters all over the place. This is really fun stuff. If you try this in a mechanical drafting class, you probably won't make it through. But good industrial art, how's that? Okay, well, let me turn it over to Carol, KP4MD. You're responsible in N6
Yeah, this is KP4MD, exactly. This is one of those Escher type of optical illusion pictures. I thought it would be curious. It's interesting to see the way these things come over SSTV and then just plays tricks with your eyes. Neil said it makes perfect sense to him, uses the metric imperial virtual measuring system, And he says he's built several of these. So there. And Greg says he noticed the zoom in on the nut is also wacky. So, yep, this is a physically impossible thing, but plays tricks with your eyes. Thank you. Back to Nets. KP for MT.
All right, nice work, Carol, and thank you very much. That was very entertaining and gives me some things to dream about tonight. How's that? I might wake up in the morning with some new invention that I'm ready to patent and go out and compete with the likes of Elon Musk. Not. Okay, so where are we? Joel, are you ready to transmit a photo?
One moment. Let's see. There goes that. Okay. Tell me if I have tone.
No tone yet. Try again, Joel. 6 EMF. No tone yet, Joel. Still there. AI6DG and 6 EMF. Got tone that time. Nice work.
PD 120.
Net Control was able to copy a wonderful photo of a front face of a dam. Looks like possibly, I can't identify the location. Maybe Joel can give us some insight. Is that Folsom Dam, the front part of it? Okay, N6 EMF, I'll be turning it over to Bob, N6 PGQ.
Well, it looks obviously like an earth-filled dam. It could be Folsom. I can't remember if it has the extra spillway on the right side to use just in case there's a spill coming up. But the pipes on the left side are probably going perhaps out of the generating facility, but it also might be going off to provide water for like the city of Roseville or something to that effect. Quality came out real good. The sky's pretty with some clouds and very few pixel pops in 6PGQ.
Just wondering if a drone followed him home after he took the photograph. That sounds like fun. All right. Thanks, Bob. Let's see. James, N6QNJ, how copy?
It's a beautiful picture. Very few pixel pops. It looks like the bar across the bottom third is the station ID. I do think it is designed to have overflow on the right side. It does look like Folsom Dam. A beautiful picture. Nice day. KN6QNJ.
All right, very good, James. Thank you for the comments. Definitely a nice day. Carol, KP4MD.
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. Picture came through nice and clear. I think it's one of the clearest pictures I got tonight. And I'm going to have to go with James because he knows all about these facilities that have to do with machinery and stuff. I'm going to say this is Folsom Dam, although I've never been this close to it to actually see it from that perspective. But nice, good, clear picture. Back to Net.
All right, very good. Thank you. Well, let's see. Joel, AI6DG, that was your wonderful photo. Would you like to tell us what you got there?
Yes, this is Folsom Dam, and this is probably an unusual perspective because this is taken from an area that's not open to the public. One of the members of the Elk Grove Foreign Radio Club was one of the, either one of the engineers or one of the project managers, or I'm not forget which, for that auxiliary spillway project that they put in a while back. You may not be aware of this. I wasn't really at the time, but they had made it. Someone had made a decision that had the lake been full, and if they had a big storm or something come in, that they didn't have enough spillway capacity. And that the dam might get overtopped. So they've got a quite large project where they added an additional spillway actually off to the right of this photo, and he had us access to that. So I've got a bunch of photos of that. But at one point I got out and took a picture of this of the dam itself. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 original spillways on the top. That big silver thing on the left is a big crane. I don't know what it's used to move. Maybe the spillway gates. I don't think there's any there is a power plant, so there's big white tubes off to the left, or I think are going off to a power generation plant that's off screen to the left. I don't know what the big white tubes on the right are. I'm thinking they're just for drainage leakage internal to the dam itself to get them out. The spillway project itself is behind me and way off to the right. I don't get up to the Folsom area too often anymore, but I remember when you actually drove across the dam. I mean, the new Rainbow Bridge that's there now wasn't there, and the only way to get across the river from Folsom was to drive across the dam. Which is post 9/11 is no more. So they built the new Rainbow. Are there 2 Rainbow Bridges now? They both called Rainbow Bridge, new and old, but it's just downstream of downtown Folsom, and it's an extension of Folsom Boulevard, and takes you across over to Folsom Auburn Road, and where Madison and Greenback meet, and so forth. So times have changed. Enjoy the view. Yes, it was a beautiful day. It was a great field trip to see some amazing things. Back to Net, AI6DG.
Yeah, all right. Joel, thanks for sharing that photo. It's a rare one these days. Just like you said, there's probably not a lot of photography going on in that area that way anymore, and lots of security and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that crane, what you see, that white crane back in there, is probably what they use to kind of hoist the parts in and out for the generating units. You know, large mechanical units underneath there. So it's what they use to kind of, forgot what they call it, but there's a name for it, and I can't remember the name, but it moves around and they can lift parts out of the like the rotor and all the parts of the generator can be removed using that. Cool stuff.
I don't think the generator turbines are in the dam. I think they're just off screen to the left, but it's possible that those are just transformers and things. I'm not sure. But you see a lot of dams with bridges like that. So it's obviously to move something big and heavy.
All right. Any questions or comments coming out of that?
Comment.
Go ahead.
It's possible that crane on the left, or that device on the left, is on rails or somehow goes over the top of the dam and does help with the movement of the extra spillway gates that were added. I'm trying to remember. N6NA.
Yes, it's on rail. I don't know how far across it goes. The new auxiliary gateway wouldn't have anything to do with, because that's completely separate from the dam. Yeah, I'm not. It moves, I think, more to the right. I'm not sure just how far left and right it moves, but back to net AI6DG.
Comment.
Go ahead.
This is really testing my memory, but I think when they were adding that spillway, they also added height, and that included those gates, but I'm not 100% sure.
All right. Yeah, well, all right. Well, this is fun stuff. Any other questions or comments about the Folsom Dam picture? All right. Looks like we're calling it a wrap. I guess we're going to give a shout out to Neil once again, and we'll hope to see you back here in a couple of weeks, Neil, and everybody else out there on the YouTube. I see quite a pile up out there. There's 6 people watching now, and I think including myself and Carol. We got Greg and Neil, Frank, and let's see, Craig, and another, I think. So nice stuff. Anyway, we'll be keeping your dad, Charlie, in our thoughts and prayers as well. Carol, I heard your update that your dad is still on the mend in the hospital, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, that's correct. He's still at the VA hospital, and he's just waiting for them to finish the necessary paperwork and the tests to get him transferred over to a rehab facility. Yeah, he suffered a stroke about 9 days ago, so he's able to talk and everything, and he's alert and very cheerful, but he's just got this weakness on the left side, and it's he needs help now to get in and out of bed, so they're trying to build up the strength in his left side, so he can be a little bit safer. That's the idea. So thank you, and wish everybody a very good evening, and thanks for a wonderful net. This is KP4MD.
All right, Carol. Well, thank you for running the live stream, and I'd like to say thanks to all who participated in tonight's SlowScan TV Net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. This net is officially closed, 9:58 p.m. Pacific Time. This is Wilson, November 6th Echo Mike Foxtrot, wishing all of you a good evening. Thank you. 7-3.
Thanks, Wilson. And thoughts are with you, your dad, Carol, KN6QNG.